Seamedu in Bangalore. And they have accepted us our invitation to speak today for you all. They're going to talk about how they joined photography, their journey in Bangalore CMR campus, as well as what they did right after they graduated. I'm sure it'll give you some insights on how you can start off as young photographers and eventually become successful like Mihir and Dhyanesh. So I'm just going to quickly introduce. We have Dhyanesh and Mihir. They are 2017 graduates, correct? So they joined in 2017 and graduated in 2020, just before the pandemic got to us. Yeah, over to you, Dhyanesh and Mihir. Please introduce yourselves and we can start off.
I'll go first.
I'll go.
Yeah, link
I'm sorry, Mihir, I couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying Dhyanesh can go first.
All right. So, alphabetical order is it? So, he's still in college.
So yeah, as you know, I'm Dhyanesh. I'm a fashion and a fine art photographer based in Bangalore. And right now, I am a lead photographer at a studio again in Bangalore. Uh, and yeah, but then my likings are more towards travel and landscape. But my second choice, not second choice, but I get to be more creative in fine art and fashion. So yeah, I would say that yeah, I am fine art and fashion photographer. Uh,
Background noise. Hi, so I'm Mihir. I'm a fashion and food and product photographer, and I run my own creative agency called the Yellow Trunk. Part of which I am, of course, handling all of the production side of things. Uh, yeah, that's about it. I tried my bit in fashion and Spanish, but it didn't kind of suit me. I figured I don't like working with people who can object to their photos. So yeah, I've found my passion in food and product.
That's lovely to hear from Dhyanesh and Mihir. So, would you want to show us, maybe Dhyanesh, do you want to start and show off what you've been doing and your portfolio and basically your story with us?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm just gonna share my portfolio. I don't have like a presentation. I just thought let my work speak for myself.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is just a portfolio that I made for myself, you know, and yeah, let me just scroll down so that you could just check it out.
Dhyanesh, maybe you can make it as a full screen.
Ah, sure.
So probably you'll have to open it in outside. Yeah.
Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope it's better. Okay.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, these are some of my work. Uh, I'm just gonna go down slowly. So the place I work right now, we basically make fashion portfolios for up and coming models, and even models who would like to update their pictures for their portfolios. So yeah. So this lady, she is a very well-known soap opera actress. I mean, people who watch daily soap opera, the Kannada daily soap opera, might know who she is. So yeah, I mean, she has just come down for uh, a photo shoot rather. Yeah, yeah. This is some of my retouch works that I did, where like you could see how amazing Photoshop is. So, yeah. This is my fashion and fashion catalog. So yeah, I mean, this is like this is more of my fashion portfolio. So let me just show you my fine art. Yeah, this image that you see, it was shot in the Seamedu studio.
Yeah. Aman and Ayush are crazy about splash photography. We still have to do that
Oh,
workshop.
Never got the permission, sir.
Huh?
We never got the permission to do splash in studio.
We'll do it, don't worry.
This will be Aman's next portfolio project.
so again, this is some of my fine art work.
Dhyanesh, is that you?
No, no, no.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
wait, this one.
This one, yeah.
No, no, no. It's
No.
wait, a Swiss guy that I met when I was traveling. This is in Jaisalmer.
Interesting. I've actually never seen all this stuff. You never showed me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mihir, we can barely hear you, Mihir. It's muffled.
Okay, I'll just start talking a little louder, I think. Is this better?
Slightly better, yes.
Okay, sure.
I think it's probably because of your Bluetooth headphones.
Probably, yes. It's not my Zoom's not taking my phone as a mic for some reason.
Dhyanesh, can you go back to that image? It looked like those photos are fishes. Is those
Yeah,
fish?
this is shot in Sri Lanka. We had
Actually,
that.
Mansi ma'am, if you remember when we were doing the feet, that foot therapy
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
Yeah,
fish,
the foot spa.
yeah.
yes. When we all went swaha, Dhyanesh
Yeah.
took photos.
Yeah, nice. I remember. I think it's very well put. I mean, the way you've placed all your images, Dhanesh, it starts with red and then slowly moves into a different color tone. Very well done.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
This
That is the
is,
whole.
yeah, like this is how you also look at your mood boards. There needs to be some kind of a flow.
Yeah, I agree.
And the flow doesn't have to be in colors, it can be in orientation or subject or any other form of visual communication.
True. This is a small photo series that I worked on. Basically about like it revolves around men. You could just you know go through it, read rather. So yeah, this is something that me and a few people had put together. This is with the sticky notes and the color of the hand.
And was this done by a makeup artist?
Yeah, so the place where I work right now, so we all like the concept. I had come up with the concept where I thought, why not let's do something which is about men and mental health, men's mental health.
Okay.
So we just put this idea together and kind of created this. Yeah. And this is the second part of the same series where it is men do cry.
There is just a question. In the first one, you had black and yellow, and the second one, you have yellow and red. Any particular
Yeah.
reason?
So black is more it's more like the negative aspects, and red it's more of love and like reassurance kind of messages. So if you like, I don't know if you're able to see the messages on the face.
Oh
So
yeah,
here
now
it is, yeah.
yeah.
So here it is, be a man, you can't cry, something like that. So it's more of people, expect few things of men,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and this is more of a reassurance where you are valued and follow your dreams, whatnot. Yeah,
Oh, okay, got it. Thanks.
yeah. So this is the second part of the same series. It is, yeah, Men Do Cry. Yeah. So the interesting story. So on the shoot day, we were not able to find these glycerine that they used to, make people where you get tears. So what I suggested that, you could apply Vicks underneath your body. It burns like crazy, and it did the job that day. So yeah, like the jugaad mentality, really helped us that day.
Right.
Yeah. I
Indian
think
solution to anything is this.
yeah, you guys can use glycerine also, right? And these movie and TV
Yeah.
series, they use a lot of glycerine so the
Yeah.
characters can cry.
Yeah. That day we couldn't.
It's a
We had
it's like a dangerous jugaad you have.
yeah, we couldn't find any glycerine, so Vicks was our only hope.
But that's also quick thinking, right? Like
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta
instead
think
of canceling the whole shoot and doing
true.
something else.
Uh, because these models, they were charging a lot per day, and so it was like you gotta really think on your feet then.
Correct.
Just some of my product work that I did. So I mean, basically, I did this. These images are from my internship that I did at a luxury company. So basically, they are retailers for all these luxury brands, like Gucci, Prada, and Mont Blanc. So I mean, I had to show I had to shoot images for their social media. So yeah, these are
Was
some
this
of.
in Bangalore, Dhyanesh?
Yeah, again, this was in Bangalore. Yes. So this some of
Mhm.
the images from that. Yeah, this is again a brand called Mugio. So it's for the. I mean, not the company. It's not for the company, but then I just had an idea where I could just shoot something like
It's a
this.
portfolio shoot,
Yeah,
basically. Yes, I was actually going to say that later on, but might as well say it now that for everyone, portfolio shoots are actually quite important. You guys should regularly shoot and
yeah,
create your own content because that's where you have full creative freedom. You work with a client, you work on a project, even if you work in college, you still have limitations. You have deliverables to give based on what the client's requirements are. So portfolio shoot is really where you can create good content with full freedom, full flexibility, and use that to get in more work.
yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So this is again so the food shoot. Yeah, this was for Hotel Royal Orchid Bangalore. They're a five-star hotel, and they wanted few shots for their beverages, for their in-house bar, basically. So these were from there. And then again, these luxury brands. Yeah, yeah, this was for a brand called Tumu. I mean, for their, so basically they deal with men's uh, what do you call those? uh, Not tuxedos, coats. Yeah. So
Suits.
suits. Yeah. So this was one of the shop for them.
That's interesting. Can you tell me something about this image? It's interesting.
This one. Uh, this was actually, it was inspired by another photographer called Abdul Ramirez. He's a Dubai-based photographer. So he has created something similar, and it really caught my eye, and I thought, even I want to try out something like this. And I mean, I believe then he actually when we had put up this picture, and we had actually written below inspiration so and so photographer, and he really did like it, and he said kudos, great job.
That's a nice compliment.
Yeah,
Dennis,
absolutely. I
how
mean,
did you manage to set the blazer up this way? Also, blazer with suit and
oh, it was a monumental task. So what we did, we rip off the hands of a mannequin, and we stuff it inside, and uh, like I literally held it on either side of this one and made it stand. So something like this, where I had clips attached behind, and I literally just made it stand, and we had to like shoot it really really quick so that it doesn't just fall off. So out of let's say 20-25 shots, this 2-3 came out like really nice, and I like this one very much.
perfectly placed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was quite a monumental task, and the rest is
Also,
again Photoshop. I mean, that's about it. Yeah, this was again crystal vodka. Yeah, this one again more of a portfolio shoot. This was shot in the studio. The as the Seamedu photography studio.
oh yeah.
This
Oh,
too
one
was
minute.
shot. I mean,
Even this one.
yeah.
Oh, this one I think both of us did
That
together.
shoe
But
was still there in the studio.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
is the bottle also still there? Because when we had the bottle, it had all kind of things in
Yeah. Oh, it's such a bad stink. Shit.
it.
From the
But
bottle.
yeah, I think we shot this together, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I have
absolutely.
the
Even
same
even
picture.
even he had the same image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is again for a brewery. Yeah. Again some food shops. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah. So I mean, you've seen this is more of what my portfolio looks like. So I mean, let me just take a couple of minutes and tell you how things started here. So I actually was never very. I mean, photography more of it was more of a hobby for me, and I mean, I did my engineering from. 2015. I started with my engineering,
I think
and I
one thing, Dhyanesh, while you're
yeah
explaining this, I don't want to repeat. Both of
yeah
us have kind of similar stories except different colleges.
yeah.
So whatever he says applies to me as well.
Yeah, so so basically, I quit engineering after 2 years to really pursue my passion for photography, and so far it's been pretty good, and I'm really glad that I quit engineering and did something that I really loved, and I'm glad to say that um, making a living, but making a living is again a big word or sentence, but it's okay. I mean, I get to enjoy at my work, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So yeah, uh, I guess Mihir can take over, and then we could come back later.
Yeah, for sure. Dhyanesh, I have a little bit of bad Wi-Fi, so I'm sending you a link. Just open that on your screen share, please.
Oh,
I lost Wi-Fi from mobile data. Don't skip it.
yeah. Wait.
I WhatsApp you.
Oh, okay.
The
Oh, oops.
yes, no, not the no, the yellowcam.co. Co.
The yellow.
It's already
Oh,
here, the first link.
No, not that one. That's the old site. I don't recommend it.
Okay.
THEYELLOW trunk.co. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So okay. Like I said, I'm primarily into food and product only, and this is. I'll just give you a quick walkthrough of the work I've done, time and non-time. Followed by maybe we'll speak about how to go about getting clients, working with, basically following what you want to do and actually doing something about it. Then you scroll down, just open up view all, down, little down. Yeah, view portfolio. So again, I can go segment wise like how Dhyanesh did. We can open food photography first. So for me, food photography is something that I really enjoy because every shoot is quite different, right? Because food is different everywhere and it looks different. You get to play around with different props, different lighting, styling is different on everything. So you actually have full flexibility to light your frame up very differently and do a bunch of different things. One thing I shoot a lot is actually meat for say delicious, etc. I can show you some references that I've done for them. Dhyanesh, the second row, first one. Yeah, I can do that. So this is a recipe shoot I did for them, which is basically we shoot the steps of making the dish. This is for their blog. Just keep scrolling, I'll talk. So this is these are the final dishes that I've uploaded. So what we basically did for them was multiple shots where we take step 1, 2, 3 of the recipe itself. So it comes on a blog saying this is how easy it is. You just have to put in these kind of steps and visually, because visual communication, like Krishna sir will always repeatedly tell you, is very important, and more than just text, right? Because a lot, even when you have a deck or a presentation, too much text doesn't work. People don't read. So it's always good to have images or videos so that you actually stay visually connected to these things. So for example, Dhyanesh just stop. So if I have a step that says fry fish, right? So it's just easier to show this. People can directly picture it. They already know how it's going to look like also, rather than say deep fry it for 5 minutes until it turns golden brown, etc. So visual communication is key, and photography, videography, or any visual art for that matter is all about that. So each of these was shot for different campaigns. Like this one is for the Easter, one was for Ramzan, one was just a different Bengali, Durga Puja stuff, etc., etc. Go back once. My voice is audible now?
Yes, Mihir, yes.
Or food again. Let's open scroll a little. So we can open this one. This was for Swiggy, the first one. I mean the center one. Yeah. This was a lot of my work actually revolves around doing a lot of meat stuff, unfortunately. This particular one was for Swiggy. This is their campaign that they launched for meat. Our goal here was not to show the rawness of meat. So in every step, you'll see some sort of garnish, but at the same time, retaining the fresh element of things. So they wanted a quick, again, their brief was don't make it look too raw, because they wanted something different. Every brand does the same thing now. So that's what we worked on for them. We can go back. Yeah. Let's do the one below Swiggy. Oh no, the one on the right is that the orange dragon. Yeah. So this is a brand called Wow Homemade. They basically make these meat flosses. It's a grounded product, and they also make pickles. So they came to us for their website content, social content, etc. And the goal was kind of to advertise their product at the same time for the floss, especially show the use case of it. Because see, a pickle is standard. Now anyone can look at a pickle and they know what to do with it. But when it comes to floss, they need to. Nobody knows what it is. Majority people don't know unless you're from Kerala probably. So we tried showing something that you can also use with it. This is the master shot for their website. Just variations and things like that. Let's go back. Food. Okay, products. Let's open the first one. This is a luxury candle company called Amber Tree. And so one thing about business now when it comes is you should try having a bunch of clients who are on your retainer. Now retainer means basically having a client that is fixed every month, right? If you work as a freelancer, you have a lot of fluctuations. You might not make ends meet, or maybe you might just have a month where you don't make money at all. So it's important to have people on retainer where every month you say, for example, with Ambati or with any brand, what you could do is here's X amount of money, and every month I will shoot this 10 images for you, 15 images for you. And pretty much every brand now needs that kind of content, especially with social media and Instagram. So having a retainer is important because that's sustaining basically. So I won't speak only just for photography, but also the business side of things. So it's important to have that. So this is Amber Tree. They were on my retainer. I did regular content for them. I had a contract with them for 6 months. So you try closing long-term deals because worst case, if you don't get a shoot through a whole month, at least you have something coming in. At the same time, you're working, you are practicing, you're doing things, right? So you don't lose the hang of it. So with them, I had full flexibility. I could pretty much do anything I wanted to. My only constraint was shoot square because it's for Instagram. So different campaigns, different things, different vibes, just a lot of creative freedom. This is fun. Yeah, that's the product. You can open Panera. This was one Ugadi campaign shoot that I did, and this honestly actually taught me also a lot because on set we had, of course, a stylist, we had a drapist who comes just for the saris. There was someone to iron the saris, particularly how we wanted them. Besides that, there was, of course, a production team, clients, agencies, and there was a lot of learning on this shoot. And honestly, any shoot that you go to, you can learn, and whether it's your shoot or not. So if you ever get a chance to work with any photographer anytime, which can be maybe Dhyanesh or me also, you can just reach out to us anytime. There's always something to learn, and vice versa. We also might just end up learning something from you. Yeah, we'll just do one more further. Let's do the center one, bottom. this is a brand called the Bar Info. So in fact, at Yellow Tongues, we actually handle their branding, their marketing. We do everything for them, again, on retail. And we've decided that their theme is much more minimal, because the soaps look like that, the products look like that, and we chose to go with the minimal thing. So even if you see the photos, they follow that vibe. And consistency for them obviously plays a big role. So this again, there is freedom, but they're quite similar looking shops, just so that, because they sell these products on one specific platform, and it's good for all the images to look kind of similar, so it looks like it's from the same brand. Dhyanesh, this top right, there'll be something called More by Us, besides services. Open product. So this is a section where I upload basically my portfolio work, where I experiment and try different things just for myself. I might use it to pitch to clients or not, maybe it's my style or not, but just to understand light, just to understand what I can do, what I cannot do, and more than anything to understand what not to do, because it's easier just to understand lighting in particular that way. So these are all non-client work, just out of curiosity and portfolio. Yeah, that's about it. I can send you guys the link so you can actually take a better look at it if you'd like. I don't want to take our time to just go through this right now. Yeah, so like Dhyanesh was saying, my background is quite similar also. I did 2 years of engineering, and I realized that, no, I chose engineering by choice, and I realized that I don't want to pursue this at the end of 4 years. Unfortunately, I had this interest in photography, so I decided to switch. I chose to do the degree in Seamedu, of course, because it is important to have some qualification. Besides that, there is always something to learn, and college, of course, will teach you things. So I realized, faculty is important. You will always learn something or the other, whether it benefits you or not. That doesn't really matter, but it's always good to have more knowledge. So I think Dhyanesh and I really, we kind of we enjoyed college, because of course this is not our engineering, right? Where it's the same thing on the street where we, Dhyanesh, correct me if I'm wrong. We liked it. We like going to classes. We like interacting with people, and studio time was of course the best. With that, we had other subjects to do, common subjects, but at the moment we probably wonder why we're doing this. But I think at the end of it, it's really helped us in knowledge, because right now, like when I learned the basics of doing something related to video, and now running my own agency, it obviously helps to interact with clients. Even if I have to outsource work, if I have to hire, for example, Aman to do a shoot for me, it's easier for me to explain to him and understand what can be done, what cannot be done. So any and all subjects in college really help. Besides that, I'll speak for myself and Dhyanesh that attendance we took really lightly, but it is important to attend classes. Thanks, over to you.
I agree with Mihir. Yeah, I mean, there are, I don't know, a few people did, I mean, the attendance wasn't that great, and yeah, I mean, it sucked pretty bad for them in the end. So,
Yeah, I mean, it just makes your life difficult.
yeah.
But no, I think you realize, even especially as you go higher up in classes, if you miss one class, you're kind of losing out in a bunch of things. Because the next time when you shoot practically at the studio, you have no clue. So yeah, it helps with that. And I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's about it for me. If there are any questions anyone has, you can of course take those up.
Before we open up for questions, thank you so much, Mihir and Dhyanesh. couple of things that I noticed was the first thing that you said, college not only teaches you a lot of skills like, how to write a subject and all that, but there's a lot of learning that goes between the teachers and the students, and also the students themselves, right? Because if there is a problem, and then there are 10 students, there are easily 10 different solutions each student comes up with. And by discussing and by observing how the problem is being solved, we are open to new ideas, which is very difficult to get if you are not in college, right?
Right.
And the other thing is, a lot of networking happens right now. For example, if these students now, I think there are some semester 2 and 4 students, now it's very easy for them to understand who Dhyanesh and Mihir are and how they have journeyed. And it's a very live and very real experience that they have had. And I'm sure some of them will try to follow you on Instagram and message you and whatnot. This kind of interaction is this kind of network opportunities get minuscule if you're not in school. Apart from that, I'm sure there are students here who would want to ask you how you got started, how in the initial stages, when you need to hire a model or makeup artist, how did you get to those models? And Mihir could probably talk about how you got into product photography, and also how you style those products. Did you have to learn it? Did you have to shoot? And one more thing that I keep asking any of these people that speak is, how important do you think personal projects are? Because I come from a school of thought that we think that personal projects are far more important than anything else. Of course, for you to earn money, you will have to do commercial shoots and things like that. So these questions are open to you all, so you can feel free to
I can
answer.
take up the last question that you just mentioned. While personal projects are important, like you said, of course, at some point you would like to grow, right? And growth just does not mean doing better work. That better work has to result into getting more work, which is from clients. So personal projects are important, but at the same time, there has to be a well balance of doing client work also. It can't just be, oh, I'm doing this little bit, I'm making my money, but on the side, I'll keep working on this personal project. Might as well put that time and effort you put on a personal thing to good use. There is always someone out there for that kind of requirement. For example, Dhanesh's fine art work can always go to some magazine or the other, or there might just be some artist who wants to pick that up, or a makeup artist, and I'm sure he knows that already. So, if you're putting in that time and effort to shoot something to yourself, might as well value that time and pitch it to getting more work. So don't rely just on doing personal things for personal satisfaction.
That's my problem. I don't put my work anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't get that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with Mihir. I mean, I think having personal projects would help you, let's say, stay, I mean, I think experiment and get to learn new things, try out new stuff on Photoshop or while you shoot something. And also, I think it wouldn't let you go. I mean, of course, like Mihir said, I don't think you get much liberty when it comes to client shoots because they have a set of expectations, and of course, we are photographers, artists, so everybody has different views, and it varies from person to person. But as end of the day, as everyone would agree with me, client is God. Yeah, I mean,
That's it.
yeah, yeah, client is
But
king. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
So yes.
So see, so even now that you mentioned that there are limitations, right? So those of you actually starting right now and you want to do creative stuff and at the same time make some amount of money, of course, someone would like to. Try targeting smaller brands because smaller brands are the ones that maybe have lesser experience, they have a smaller team, they're open to new ideas. Now, if you go to a company like say Myntra, for example, or any other fashion brand, they already have their set of ideas. They already know what they exactly want, and you don't have freedom that way. But if you want to do something else, reach out to maybe smaller designers, collab with them. You may or may not make money on it, but you get to learn, you get to meet new people like Krishna said. Network is very important. Putting a face to someone's name and work is also important because that's what people are going to recall at the end of it.
Yeah. And
And
also, I
also
would,
stay in touch with people you work with. It's good to have a good bond going, so they're more likely to come back to you for more work.
yeah, absolutely. And also, I would suggest that, use your photography studio as much as possible, because, towards when you come
You're
out,
not going to
it's,
have that chance after. You will not
yeah,
own equipment. You more than equipment, you might be able to rent it. You won't have the space. You
exactly.
won't have the
And
freedom.
yeah, and I was really glad. I mean, I was kind of glad because I was when I was studying, I was the studio in charge. So basically, all the bookings went through me, and I got. I mean, I would say I did make good use of the studio when it came to experimenting and playing with lights and stuff. So I think I did a pretty good job in my opinion. But
Definitely,
I
for
would
sure,
suggest.
also.
I would suggest that you guys use the studio as much as possible because when you come out, it's going to be tough for you to. And yeah, if you go bananas, try different stuff, just experiment and don't limit yourself with anything. And
Of course,
yeah,
and you need
because
to work on it because I think that I mean not you work on it, but anyone in general because the competition is actually very high. Just every
oh
third
yeah,
person with a camera now is photographer, and a lot of clients and people just go with the cheapest option. They don't go
yeah,
with the best thing. They don't go with best quality or best output. So it's important to be different, I would say. Choose your target audience, choose the kind of work you want to do research, find the brands that you like to work with and shoot those kind of things.
yeah,
And
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's
and reach out to as many people as you can, network. You have to
yeah,
keep talking to multiple people.
true. And as Mihir said, it's pretty tough out there. Now that you're in college, I mean, things might seem all rosy and nice. But yeah, when you really go out there, it becomes a little tough because there are a lot of competitors, and you need to really fight for that one client because that client has a lot of choices, but
You have
uh,
other options, of course.
they have other options as well. So I mean, if at all you quote an amount, you need to basically back it up with a solid portfolio where your work really speaks for your quotation. So I would I would suggest that again have a solid portfolio and approach with confidence. Yeah.
And I think sometimes since you spoke about giving a quote and backing it up, it's okay to underquote if you think
Yeah.
it's going to
Yes.
be
Yes.
fun, if you
Exactly.
think it's
Yeah.
going to be different. You don't always have to be overquoting or getting the right amount. It's okay to maybe not make enough out of that particular something different. Because
Yeah.
that's going to benefit you at the end. And you never know, they might come back to you also,
Initially, I guess you could even work for free. It doesn't matter.
for sure.
I mean. Yeah, if anything to just get that portfolio and get yourself started with. I guess you work for free and
Which is why I said look for small brands, look for
yeah, yeah,
small designers, and just tell them, hey, give me some of your products and I'll shoot that for you. Or find a makeup artist and be like, let's do a collab shoot. Like, just do a lot of collaboration, at least in your college time. And if I'm not wrong, you have that freedom in college at the studio to actually do it.
I guess they could get people in, get models and makeup
Yeah,
artists from outside. Yeah, I think they can do that.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely they can. We encourage them to bring in friends, makeup artists, anybody they want to do shoot with, and it's always open for them.
Right.
Yeah,
And when teachers around and friends around, you're going to experiment more and you'll actually end up having better output at the end of it.
All right.
yeah,
The college
true,
will benefit you that way with people.
true. And of course, make most out of the teachers and everyone over there because I mean they're there for a reason and I'm pretty sure they back it up with a huge chunk of experience. So ask lots of questions,
Yeah.
Don't just sit in the back and not
Right.
ask questions. Yeah.
Call them
It's
DM9.
Right?
some of them do. I think Aman does that quite often.
Someone calls you day and night.
Not me, at least Sankiti, I'm sure. Aman or Ayush had called Sankiti
Right.
middle of the night once. But anyway, that was for a good
They
thing.
used to do that.
Yeah. So one thing that I would also like to talk about is how Dhyanesh said to make full use of the studio while we are in college, right? Because again, we keep coming back to the same point that it's very expensive to hire a similar studio with the similar lights and all that. Apart from that, you have overhead expenses like you need to pay the model, you need to pay the makeup artists, and it all adds up. It'll for a day shoot, you'll at least end up spending 15,000, even if you get the cheapest
Right.
and the most basic models and all that.
Plus, I
The
think
other
it's
thing
not just
is
that, even logistics. It's just easy. You don't have to
true,
go rent out, travel, backdrop,
right,
anything for that matter. So, yeah.
right. Right. Everything that you would need is there, and if there's nothing, if something is not there, you could always check with us, and then the faculty will do the best we can to give what you don't have. The other thing is that when you work on your personal project, you're the least bothered about the output.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
that big chunk of, oh, what happens if the client doesn't like, or the client rejects my photos. So you do not have that fear of failure, and when it's taken out, you tend to be more experimental, you tend to be more
Which is why
artistic.
I actually pointed out saying that you will learn what not to do.
Sorry.
When you learn what not to do.
Right.
When you
Right.
realize what is going wrong, right? And you
Right.
have that freedom only when you're doing technical.
Correct. Right. And you also rightly pointed out that every shoot is a learning opportunity, right? Sometimes you're technically bogged down and you do not know what to do, and by being in that situation, you know what has gone wrong, and you would be better prepared for the next eventuality. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Kirti, do you have any questions? And then we
Not in
can open
specific,
up.
like we covered we should ask the students if they have any questions.
Yeah. Right. Or Mansim, do you have any questions? Or do you want to say something?
I don't have question, but I would really like compliment, and I'm so happy to see Dhyanesh and Mihir talk so confidently and giving out suggestions, showing their work. I mean, if you guys compare where you were in your first year, when you decided to do photography, and now where you are, I think 5 years. It's been 5 years for both of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
five.
I think the graph is brilliantly well, gradually upwards, and surely many more peaks to
I
achieve.
think as a joke, I mean, we've obviously grown as a career, but I don't think we've grown in education yet because we haven't graduated yet.
Oh yeah. We have
That
to
will
collect
always
our
be as a joke
certificates.
because yeah, we're yet to collect this. We're yet to have a convocation. That hasn't happened.
Oh, get in touch with Krishna, sir.
And our blazers, I mean, that case.
Oh.
We'll have this discussion when you come offline.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but it's
But
so
yes,
good to see both of you talk this way. I mean, and then guiding the current students and then helping them out with some mistakes which you have done with attendance and stuff like that, no studio bookings, and some where the studio booking in charge, Dhyanesh was in charge, and then making the most full use of it. So brilliant. All the best.
Thank you.
So let's see if any students have any question. I'm sure Prabhanjana will have one. So Prabhanjana, do you have anything?
Actually, sir, I had a doubt to ask.
All right.
Yeah, so again, my name is Abhishek and I the field that I aspire to go into is fashion photography. So I just want to ask Dhyanesh, like, so before you started, on your own, who were some of the people that you tried assisting under, and like, what were your contacts per se?
Uh, so there's this Bangalore-based photographer called Amal Anthony. So I did assist him for a couple of shoots. And then, I mean, I follow a lot of photographers, and I always update myself with their work. So one of the Indian photographers that I'm really inspired is Arjun Mark. Do you know Arjun Mark?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah, so he is one of the people I'm really inspired, and I really love
Mhm.
his work. So a funny story. So when I really came out of my college, I never thought I would do fashion photography. I was more into travel and landscape, but with SLE. So I had to like choose something uh, commercial, and of course, so fine art and fashion is something that was uh, something that I really liked. So yeah, I mean, there's one more photographer that I did work. I mean, assisted him. Uh,
Mhm.
I actually forgot his name. So yeah, it was actually long, quite a while, but 3 years back, I guess. I was still in high
So,
school.
by the time when you were graduating itself, you had an idea of who you wanted to go under, or was that something that came along?
So what I did was I did a lot of internships.
Right.
Uh, a lot of internships, different companies, and
Mhm.
I tried to deliver what they expected. And so far, I mean, so far I haven't had any issues. I mean, they did not have any issues with my work, and uh,
Right.
you know, so the place I work right now, so here it's mostly fashion and product fashion portfolios and everything. So, of course, when I initially joined, and today where I'm right now, I think, I mean, there is a huge difference, in
Definitely.
in the way I used to edit, and again, it's again a constant learning, so you just need to keep updating yourself now and then.
I think with every shoot you end up trying something different, or even with editing, learning
Yeah,
online or working with someone and things like that. And that's just another way of learning a skill. And
true.
yeah, just work with people. They don't have to be the best people. You can work with literally any
Yeah.
photographer. You will always learn something.
Yeah, and as Mihir said, do as much as collaboration as possible with makeup artists, designers. I mean, there these colleges, IFTs, and you could just stand outside. I mean, not stand outside. You could just approach them saying that, I'm a photographer. I'm a photographer, and I would like to work with some of your students. So I mean, you need to then really put yourself out there to get portfolios
Right,
and
and I think with fashion photography, based on what I've spoken to people about, right, NIFT is obviously a great place to socialize
yeah.
and network with. Because they're fashion designers, they need photos of the things they make for their project. So why not just collaborate with them to shoot? You have a piece of clothing ready. You will always have something unique. And since they're from NIFT, they're also going to have their own ideas of how they want to portray things. So not just will you have just your own creative input, but you'll also have a chance to work with someone who wants to have this particular theme in mind or a concept in mind. So both ways it's winning. So if, I mean, I can connect you to some people from next experience in this who might be able to lead you into second experience also.
Yeah.
Right, 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 right. Anyways,
So,
thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. All the best.
So, do we have any other questions?
I have
No?
one question.
Yeah, go ahead,
Uh,
Vashi.
so, hello everyone. Hello guys. So, I just wanted to know that how did you guys came into photography? Like, what inspired you to choose a photography?
Uh,
Yeah,
yes.
fun question.
So honestly, yeah, like I said, I mean, we both were fed up of our engineering classes, I guess, and yeah, how? I mean,
No, I mean,
so I used to take a
I
lot.
still had interest before. It's not like I didn't. But I never thought of it as a career because back then, I think we did engineering in 2014, we started. And back then, you didn't think much like how could this possibly be a full career for you, right?
Yeah,
The interest was always there, and I think interest for me at least came up by fascination of being a camera and just capturing things, different perspectives, different things. So that's how it started for me. Going into food and product, I think it just went with the flow. I wasn't I want to do food. It just okay. I tried everything, I experimented with everything, and I've seen Ganesh do the same also. And you just kind of find what you enjoy. You just go with the flow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, Kirti, do you want to add something? Or Mansi, ma'am, do you want to say something?
So there was this something very interesting which Dhyanesh just smiled and said that landscape and wildlife was something that he wanted to do, but then ended up for the commercial sake went on to do product. So
Yeah.
how did you come to that point where you, out of the two, like people and product, you chose product?
So what happened was, like I said, after I graduated, I mean, I think even during my college years, I did a lot of internships, and I did try for travel and landscape internships, but I didn't find any. So, but then I did find a lot of internships where they needed product photographers, fashion photographers. So, I mean, I did these internships, and I learned with the job, and good. I mean, one good thing is that the places where I did my internships, they didn't really talk. They, they help me grow and experiment with stuff, and that's pretty rare. So that's how I started getting into commercial and like then going neck deep into it. But
And
yes,
I
I
think for
do
you,
travel occasionally.
travel will always be there. Maybe not professionally, but you will always do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I mean, travel is something, I mean, and usually when I travel, it's always a solo trip, you know. So, I mean, now I think it's been a while since I've actually got out of Bangalore, but hopefully soon I will.
You're kind of funding your travel photography by doing commercial.
Exactly. So, so yeah. So I mean that's how it was, you know. So it's morely because of the internships I did. I got into the commercial scene because of the internships.
And
And
Mihir,
internships, yeah.
sorry, go ahead. You were saying something.
I was just going to say that internships are, I mean, they're great. They don't have to be paid university, but you will work with one full team on different projects with different clients, and there's just so much to learn. Everyone's requirements are different. That's a great way to actually go on
Do
experience learning.
do as many internships as possible. Bardo in अपना resume internships. Yeah.
All right. And Mihir, for you, I mean, you showed us the works that you've done through the website, and especially food. It's not a one man's job to do.
Oh no,
You
for
know?
sure not.
So how has that process been for you?
So for me, food, I actually started. So my dad actually runs this cloud kitchen, and I used to take photos for him. Funnily enough, I stopped shooting for him because working with family, I do not suggest at all.
And I'm sure,
Otherwise,
and he was the one, I think you were experimenting while in college. You were doing a lot
oh
of
yeah,
shoot.
yeah, for sure. I mean, otherwise, Hatpe also, Kampe also, both ways they were made. So I prefer not to do that. But I got to experiment a lot. I had that freedom, but I think at this time, if someone wants to do food, you can literally go to any restaurant and say, I'll shoot it. Everyone wants photos. So you don't have a limitation at all. Literally any restaurant will want photos. Just say, or even if you have to go there and buy something, it's fine. It really doesn't matter for your own good. Uh, So that's how I started, and I slowly kept experimenting more, and I chose to do an internship at a studio that does only food. So that's where I learned a lot too, and this was during college. But with the team, yes, there is, of course, there's me. There's always an assistant that I keep someone just to, not an assistant, but someone who's part of my team actually. There's always a food stylist. There's someone maybe to help the food stylist because I can't possibly look at styling the set also, right? Because there's food styling and there's also set styling that you go. If there's cooking required, you need a chef because there is technique. You need to understand. You can't just simply cook pizza the way Domino's and you just want to probably position, say, your tomatoes, your pepperoni, your onion, whatever way, put cheese over it, and kind of create it yourself. And so, yeah, team-wise, so the food shoot is quite large. It's not a one-man thing. To start off with, of course, just go one man. It's great to learn because you need to have that opinion also as a photographer. At the end of it, when you are shooting in front of the screen or editing, it's important for you to know how things are supposed to look. So with food, you need to know food. You need to know the quality of food, the color, the texture, what way something might look better. The noodles look better with harsh light because you can actually highlight every strand there. Whereas the burger, not so much, for example. So it's important to understand food in general before you go into food.
And if you look at a photo and then you're hungry, you're done your job.
Pretty much, but I think when you're shooting food, you actually lose your hunger. You're just so tired of things around you. But yeah, of course, I mean, if you're shooting food, you're doing what you like, you're making money, and you're eating food for free. So it's a win-win as well.
Yeah, Mihir, I just wanted to check. I mean, ask you one thing. How see in the college we keep telling the students when you're shooting products, please use a tripod. It's very essential that your camera has to be on the tripod, just so that the posts are much more easier and in a structured way.
Right.
Because many of your shots, they were very consistent. I mean, if all your shots.
So client-wise, yes.
Yeah. So, do you think it is what we tell the students is important, putting it on a tripod for the post, or do
I
you
think for products, I would say yes, because and for food actually, because at least anything that you require to build a set or style it in a certain way, a tripod is great. Because firstly, you should tethered, right, to maybe capture one or any software. So it's good to have that stability firstly, so you can at least see what you're setting, and that's what I find is important. In fact, actually, I can show you. How I shoot is my laptop, and then the laptop connects to that TV.
Oh,
so my stylist actually looks into the TV onto a big screen while she is setting up the screen. That way it helps. Plus, I personally do a lot of focus tracking. So again, you need a tripod. You need something steady so that you can capture photos to have that tracking. But I mean, you're free to use non-tethered or non-tripod. I would suggest learn Capture One, learn how to shoot while you're connected to a system, because it really makes life easy.
yeah.
Also, it's way more professional.
Right. So, good thing for the students, because you mentioned Capture One yourself. This year we
No,
have.
I actually mentioned the dictation, so I told you.
No, but this year we have collaborated. We're partnered with Capture One, and all the students are going to be getting the licenses to be used free in their academic year. Sadly, it's come late for you guys, but
I'm fine with that. I actually suggested you can give it to us as alumni also.
We'll look into that.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's a great software to have. Even so, what my workflow is basically, I shoot on Capture One, I rate on it, I name things on it. I also do a spot edit and I export it. I export JPEG load. So if I export a JPEG load, I can send it to client for reference. On spot, I take a photo, I take a screenshot, I send it to the client.
Nice.
During the shoot, get approval immediately. Say they say this lattice is not looking nice, change it, or these styles aren't good, for example. I can just do it on spot. And that, of course, helps when I have a tripod in place, so I can get that same shot back. It helps for my lighting. It helps for just everything for me. So Capture One is great. Now that you guys have it, everyone should make full use of it. Yeah, so I take a photo, I take a screenshot, send it to the client, I get approval. I have a spot edit already ready at the beginning of the shoot where I take my first shot. And I keep tweaking it based on the images. So when I actually have to sit down for post processing, I don't have to start from scratch because I have my color profile and the look of the food already approved by the client. So I just have to go into Photoshop and manipulate things, with cleanups and finally tuning to it. So that's my way. Like
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Krishna, we can, if there are any more questions.
All right. If there are no more questions, we will thank these two guests for taking time on a Saturday afternoon. No more questions.
I have a question, not question, something to ask. So, as Mansi said, like your pictures are consistent and they're amazing. They look amazing. But I would like to ask you, or it would be great if you can share the students, like how did you find your own style for the pictures?
Sorry.
Everyone has their own style for their pictures, right? Like how did you find your own style for your pictures? Like I can see that.
I think my style actually just generated while I kept shooting because I have this particular lighting I don't know, it's just a vibe of it. I prefer that kind of thing. So finding that right style, I think comes with the flow again, with practice especially. Because if you look at an image and you try to replicate it, it's not going to happen, especially if you're going to use light. There are too many variables. So while you're shooting, you need to find your niche. You need to find what you like. And then just develop it, work on it consistently, and keep working on it forever. There's no stopping it.
Right.
All right. Since there are no more questions, thank you very much, Dhyanesh and Mihir. Hope to see you all doing at least some of these sessions offline as well.
Also, and anyone can reach out to either Dhyanesh or me.
Right.
So we're happy to have people on our shoot also. I'm speaking freely for him. For my shoots, 100%. Whenever I have a shoot, I'm happy to have people come here, work with us, and understand the environment and things like that. So anyone can reach out.
So, Dhyanesh and Mihir, if you could want to put down your Instagram IDs in the chat, maybe students will follow.
Before we go, Aman and Ayush, all time is 6 o'clock.
Ayush and Aman, I think, as usual, they have everything on and they're doing something else.
No, sir. We are watching.
Very nice.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Surprising.
By now, Krishna is like, he knows with cameras off, he knows what Ayush and Aman are doing.
Yeah.
No, but actually they've attended classes during this.
But at least I know for a fact they're very hardworking.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I can vouch for that 100%.
Yeah. They're really hardworking, which is very nice. All right.
Yeah, I've sent my number and my username.
Oh, super. If you haven't gotten it, we'll circulate it. Thank you so much, Dhyanesh and Mihir. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you for taking time off on a Saturday. And I wish you both all the very best.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think we should all actually visit college someday.
Mihir, I couldn't get that.
College I think we should all visit college someday, all of us.
Yes, you should. Definitely.
Yeah, so
I've always been. Yeah, I'm up for it. That's why I said maybe we'll see if we can conduct one of these sessions offline, where it makes more sense to be in class and showing your work and talking about it more in depth, and that would be probably more interactive.
Followed by that, Mansi can arrange for another offsite for us.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thank you for this. I think we also have fun.
Thank you. Thank you, Dhyanesh.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Happy
you.
weekend to
Bye-bye.
you all.
Bye bye.